Are you ready to get on the edge? We're not going to push you over. Well, Travis might, but I won't. Joel Comm here, Travis Wright there, and we're joined by Mr. Jeff Kelley, one of the founders of the Edge of NFT broadcast, as well as the Outer Edge event, formerly known as NFT LA. Jeff, you are a veteran to the show. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. Great to be here again.
Yeah, and I think you've got Travis speaking at the event this year. Is that right?
That's the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Trav,
We spoke last year. We killed it. It was awesome at that event.
Oh, yeah.
Such a great run event, I have to say, because some of the other NFT events, well, like the last one in New York, dude, there was like 9 venues all over the place. You didn't know which one to go to. You guys had most of your stuff in the same place, and you had some other really cool parties and activations that I thought was pretty spectacular. So excited to see what you guys got going on this year.
Dude, yeah, and I appreciate it, man. It's we have our approach, and I think a lot of what you experience at other events, it's reflective of the culture of the cities, of the communities in that environment, like the hustle and bustle of New York. You get that vibe out there, For example, we're in LA, it's a little more chill, a little more laid back. Also, the integration of like entertainment and community at that event, you really feel, and it's something we're definitely proud of. Big production team, behind that to try to make that so.
Now, wait, you got Shatner showing up to this event?
We do, man.
Actually, in person, he's going to be there.
He's going to be there. Yeah, we're super pumped about that.
He did NFTs on Wax. It was back when Wax was on Simple Assets, right before we launched Blockchain Heroes. And I commented on something that somebody else said on Twitter, and he totally misread it, and he blocked me.
Oh, no.
It was like I wasn't dissing him at all.
Yeah, then he blocked me by proxy because he blocked Joel. And so then I was blocked too. I was like, damn it, Shatner. Come on!
Well, you have a chance to make it up. You can talk to him. So
yeah, Trav, you can shake his hand and say, hey, we were there.
Hey, follow me on Twitter, William. Oh, you're blocked me? What an asshole. Fuck off, William. I don't want you.
I've still got at least one pack unopened of his cards. So
nice.
That's really cool, man. You and Josh have been hosting Edge of NFT for quite some time now, and got a really great audience. I'm curious, what are you seeing, trend wise right now in the NFT world? And for those who might listen later, I'll date stamp this. It is February 23rd, 2023. Oh, it's 2/23/2023 right now. We should release this episode at 20:23 o'clock.
Let's do it.
Well, we can finish this by 2:23. We could be good.
That'd be good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be perfect, guys. So it's myself and Josh, and then Ethan's our other co-host, Ethan Janney. And we've been at it for a couple years, plugging away a couple hundred episodes. And I think what we're seeing, week in and week out is number one, which is expected in this environment, is people heads down building. The folks that are, super long Web3 and everything that encompasses are out there deploying their resources, their time, their effort, their knowledge, their relationships, their money into building shit. And that's really what folks are focused on. It we've seen week in and week out. There's that momentum. There's a ton of optimism. And we were talking a little bit before the show about just like kind of pent up desire to do something, right? And it's out there, it's there, it's palpable. But you got to put that into practice, right? So not just the building, element of it, but really starting to bring other people into the space again, trying to get excitement above and beyond just that individual project, So how do you kind of pop your head up a little bit after being in build mode for so long? And I don't know what it is that's going to help us turn that corner there, but you kind of start to feel, just like a few years ago, right? We were coming out of crypto winter. You kind of feel there's some energy, man. It's like it's there. There's some electricity.
I'll tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be Amazon, right? It's going to, I think that is a catalyst. We know. I mean, Trav was tracking this before there was even, too many rumors. He's saying, hey, you can look and see that they're hiring blockchain developers.
Yeah.
Those are happening.
It could be a big one, right? And it's hard to predict. That's certainly a possibility. But it's there. The momentum's there. The interest is still there. within the community for sure. And people are heads down building, which I love to see, because then it's like the Animoca brands that are out there mixing it up nonstop, coming out of last crypto winter, that are in there continuing to build momentum, building out cool projects, making cool stuff happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I got to ask a question for you on this, because there's been some things that are starting to brew, as Joel mentioned, Amazon and NFT stuff. And said maybe sometime this spring. Blur just had this huge airdrop, which I wasn't even aware of when it was happening, what was going on or how people were going to get it. I know I have a ton of NFTs and traded a bunch, and so it would seem like however they're doing it, there should be some claim somewhere on that. But there's some really cool stuff that's going on. What is exciting you right now, and what is exciting about the event that's coming up?
Yeah, so it is the event, and it's actually getting people together, physically in person, and tapping into that like excitement that we do feel every single day when we talk to people and we see it. And what we saw coming out of last year, even though it was a different environment, was connections being made, personal connections, business connections, people starting companies, forming ideas. So inspiration coming out of there, and then just some fundamental like education, right? People learning about what other people are up to, people learning about subject matter that maybe they haven't gone deep on before. We have all these different opportunities for people to do that. And where we really feel it like is when we get together with people in person, whether it's at a small, after party from the event, whether it's at the core event itself, at one of our, infinite community events that are happening, whether it's an official one or somebody's just throwing it in and around what we're doing on site. We have a hackathon that we're doing just the weekend before. So on March 18th and 19th in Santa Monica, we got a hackathon rolling. Then we roll right into the event over at the convention center on Tuesday and Wednesday, the 21st and 22nd. That's where, again, tons of amazing speakers, art installations. The crew over at Whale is bringing their entire NFT collection to put on display, which is going to be really sick. And I think, when you get people together in person, man, that energy is just another level, right? So we expect really cool things to come out of those relationships at the event.
And you got Crypto Stash. Oh, our buddy Scott Page is going to be out there. Yeah, he lives out there in LA. I see a lot of names here that I recognize. So, stuff like this reminds me of the early days of like South by, right? It was very niched people in the industry that got it, helping to shape and form the future of the industry are the ones who show up. And it's just a matter of time before we go mainstream. You got Amanda from On-Chain Monkey going to be there. Our friend Rachel Wolfson is going to be out there. This is great. I'm looking for Sir Lord Travis on the menu, though. Where are you, Travis?
I'm not on the menu. I don't know. I was looking for that, too.
I don't know. I got to talk. I know it should be in there.
Might not be coming, folks.
No. We got him in there somewhere. We'll definitely check in on that. But no, it's that, right? It's those folks that are along the space, that are truly along the space, that are in there making stuff happen. And when you get those folks together, you just can't predict what's going to result. So many businesses came from our last event, partnerships, even again, personal relationships. You just don't know where it's going to come from, but it's connection, right? That's the centerpiece. That's the DNA. That's what we're trying to help promote. And like, there's no better time than now to do it when everyone is heads down and building.
Well, let me ask you this, Jeff. You're, you got your finger on the pulse of what's working and what's not right now. If you were to name 2 or 3 collections, projects that you're watching, maybe you're invested in them, maybe you're not, but you're like, I feel like these guys are doing it right, or gals, and that they are going to make it for the long haul. What do you like?
I mean, I think you got to look at the perspective of the folks, behind projects, right? Who are the folks? What's their disposition on the space in general? What are their, not just their core values, right? Which is really foundational, right? But also like, what are the resources, right? To go execute. It includes, who are you, which is like core values, the team members you have, the investors you have in many cases, because you do need capital to go execute. And so you ask yourself, what are the Yuga Labs of the world's doing? What are the Dapper Labs of the world's doing? What's the Animoca brands of the world's doing? Those are 3 companies I talk about a lot. And they have multiple projects, happening in parallel, whether it's Mochaverse or others that are going on. So I always look to the company, the foundational company, who's leading them, what are their core values, what resources do they have, and what are they working on? And you look at those companies, you're like, set aside like, specifics, like there's regulatory stuff that's still floating around, different projects related to them, but are they long the space? Yeah. Are they operating in a way that's congruent with values that are aligned with the foundation of the space and what Web3 I think represents? Yeah. Do they have the resources to go out and make it happen? Yeah. So what are they working on? Like, pay attention to that. Think about that. And, for me, it's always my recommendation, go along on people that feel aligned with the space and the things they're working on versus just what's this project, without thinking about who's behind it, right? It's the who and the why that really stands out to me.
Yeah. And we are on the edge of NFTs, an edge of Web3, edge of AI, edge of the metaverse, edge of play to earn. There's so much stuff going on in this space. It's not just those fancy collectible JPEG cartoons, right?
No.
In fact, that's evolved way beyond that. In fact, I think that was just a little blip, right? What is going on is all these major use cases. So let me ask you that as we kind of finalize this, is what are some of your favorite use cases that you're seeing with NFTs? What are some of the cool things that you're seeing that's being done right now that maybe wasn't done whenever some of the JPEG craze was going on?
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff, I think, in the background that has been going on, that whole time. For example, like around logistics, like one of the like key fundamental use cases, right? It's one of the most boring ones, I guess, from a mass market perspective. It ain't going to get a bunch of, people, coming into the space for their first time to buy an NFT, right? But we actually talk about like, what's the practical, value there of being able to, effectively, track goods, over, thousands of miles. Yeah. I mean, NFTs it's a great, technology for, for tracking in a logistics scenario, right? So that's one of them. It comes up all the time. There's dozens of companies that have been working on it this entire time, and they continue to, and it's continuing to advance in really interesting, cool ways. The sexy stuff, it's always the fun stuff, right? To me, it's like, the gaming things where people are like, now finally kind of getting to a point where these games are starting to rival what you would expect from like Web2 gaming companies, right? You're like, all right, finally that's getting there. And there's some real practical, reasons to rely on NFTs and to rely on blockchain as a foundation in these games. Like,
would Dookie Dash qualify for that?
There's a bunch of options out there, right? But look, when you can truly, think, in a decentralized way and in an interoperable way in gaming, and have that vision to kind of get there, that roadmap to get there. I think the companies that are doing that are creating the fun that you need in this space, but there's actually underlying practical value, like at least within the universe of a particular, gaming company, to be able to move your skins from one game to another, for example. It's just the kind of normal practical use case. It's fun. It's interesting. It should be the case. It's expected that you'd be able to do that if you were just building something from your mind, from scratch, and trying to creatively come up with what you want. Like, to me, that's the place where I see tons and tons of progress. And we're not quite there yet, I don't think, but it's approaching like the Web2 world. And once we cross that threshold, I don't believe that developers of games are going to really look to create a product that doesn't include an underlying, base of NFTs or blockchain to run it.
We're with you, bro, all the way. We're in this for the long haul, and I think that we are on the edge. It is all just beginning. And
Joel's just hanging out with Jimmy the Monkey over there.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
Yuga released this game, and if you had a Bored Ape or a mutant, you got this the sewer pass to play this game, and a lot of people played the game. I think they named the winner the other day, and to me, that's interesting. To see something truly professional, right, released from something that was originally just profile pictures of these Bored Apes.
Definitely leveling them up for sure. What was that you were talking about earlier? We were having that one conversation on text about how maybe some interoperable NFTs. It seems like it's really coming where like an NFT is going to be able to go from wherever to herever, whenever. go back in time with your NFTs.
Yeah.
Joel was
Yeah.
talking about something. I remember having a conversation about that. Like, if something's coming this spring where an NFT is going to be able to be cross-platform wherever easily. And man, crazy times we're in.
Yeah, Wax
oh, go ahead.
This is actually ready to release that in their new cloud wallet. They just announced that they're going to have the technology to take an NFT from Wax to Ethereum, Binance, crisscross, and back again. I'm wondering, and I actually asked their marketing team, how does that work? We have these collections on Wax. When they get moved over to another chain, where do they end up? What collection? Are they going to, is it just going to be a general, hey, here's this NFT we moved over, or are all blockchain heroes going to go into a blockchain heroes collection? I'm confused about what this is going to look like.
Yeah, I think one of the things we were talking to some folks recently about on the show was it's like alluvium, like what's his name? Kieran Warwick was talking about it, that's it's still a little ways out, right? Because you have to kind of agree on a standard, some kind of universal standard. If you're going to be truly interoperable across chains, everybody kind of has to agree on like the Blu-ray standard, right? Like there's got to be kind of one or two or something that's going to really bring.
Yeah. Because then you transfer your ape over to Binance and somebody buys your Bored Ape on Binance and it was bullshit. It seems to me like if that standard is not set up correctly, it's going to be an easy way for people to get scammed and rugged.
It's exactly right. So it's like there's this like infrastructure kind of decision that has to be made there. And I think for all these guys, that's on the roadmap, right? Like that's there. But in order to deploy something like now, you got to accept that it's not going to be the 100% solution, or you're never deploying anything, right? So it's like out there on the roadmap, and they're trying to get there. Most of them are thinking about interoperability within their platform initially, and then within their chain, and then in the future, try to do it cross chain. But they were saying, in crypto years, it's pretty far out, 5 years plus,
Well, there you go, gang. Go listen to Josh and Jeff and Ethan, Edge of NFT podcast, edgeofnft.com. And Jeff, go ahead and make your pitch to everybody about why they need to be in Los Angeles for Outer Edge, March 20th through 23rd.
Yeah, absolutely. So outeredge.live, you got to come check it out, March 20th to 23rd. This year, we're just bringing people together that are interested in building, interested in being inspired, interested in connecting with other people that are aligned around the Web3 space and everything that it can become across every possible industry that you can imagine. And finally, it's an opportunity to learn from each other, to learn from all these amazing speakers that we're going to have on site, workshops. We have the hackathon. We have community events that are endless throughout the remainder of the week after the core event days. And it's just an opportunity to really up your game if you're truly long the space, or to just kind of, scratch that curiosity if you're just learning about it. So outeredge.live, come check it out. Tickets are on sale now, and you won't be disappointed.
Perfect.
Look at that, Joel. It is now 2:23 p.m. AST on 2/23/2023. This is a meta moment.
And on that note, thanks everybody for listening and or watching. Be sure to subscribe, ring bells, review. Would love to see your 5-star reviews. Go listen to these guys on their show as well, because they're putting out great content. And until next time, keep it nifty.
Keep it nifty.
Looking into the future, what do we see? It's lined with digital collectibles, we call them NFTs. Games, trading cards, digital art, and those crypto kitties. Travis and Joel are the hosts, you'll know. Travis and Joel say this won't blow. They're locked and loaded, so ready, set, go. It's the nifty, really kind of spiffy. The nifty.